This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
The queen of common sense herself, Maggie Dent, in the house. So good to have you back, Mags.
Oh, so good to be back, guys. What a day.
I know.
How well organised.
I know. We were
just
just
women together.
Exactly. We were just talking off air about the fact, because you're a physio as well as being an elite athlete. And Maggie, of course, you're an expert in your field of
Not an expert. I know a bit about
children.
parenting. Yep.
And just that pain that you feel of people out of hours at parties and places approaching you for professional advice.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like all the time I get someone complaining about their shoulder or their neck. I told Amy before coming in today, please don't say you've got a sore neck because I'm off the clock. And half the time I'm, 12 drinks deep, I can't fix your knee.
Or it not might be fixed. So for me, I absolutely love the catch-ups and the selfies. They're fine. But and once it happened to me in Albany, I was getting changed and my undies in a dress shop, and someone heard my voice and recognised it and whipped the curtain back and wanted me to tell her how to fix a, screwed up 16-year-old son.
While you're standing there
I'm
in your knickers.
Yeah, fortunately I wasn't stark naked because that would have been even more uncomfortable. But, there is
boundaries are important.
I think there's a boundary. Selfies are fine, aren't they, too? But not in the knickers. It's not a good
Mostly
look.
when you've got some clothes on.
It was a lot better look then than it is now. But
Still,
don't go there.
Oh, it's too good.
Do people stop you and ask you about the news, Susie?
People always stop me and say, I've got the best story for you.
And is it ever the best story?
No.
Then you have to lie to their face.
We've all got our professional pains, haven't we? All right. Maggie's going to be solving your problem. So, look, now's a good time to give us a call. If the kids are driving you nuts or you've got one problem child, anything in particular you're interested in today, Maggie? Or just
birth to about 25.
Some would say 30, Harry.
No, prefrontal should be nearly finished, mate.
Should be. Still living at home, though.
It's okay.
Em, it's been an absolute delight having you in today. You're an absolute legend. We love you. Good luck to the Fremantle Dockers women's team, I'm going to say.
Yep, nice.
I don't care about the men.
No, thank you so much for having me, guys. Happy International Women's Day and go Freo.
I'm joined in the studio by, when I say powerful women, check these two out. Susanna Carr, Channel 7 doyen, and Maggie Dent, who is just the queen of common sense and basically can wrangle any child. Any child, Maggie? Any child?
Possibly.
Okay, we're going to check in with Terry from Ocean Reef. Hi, Terry.
Hi, how are you?
Great, Terry. Okay, you've got a question, a child-rearing question for Maggie Dent.
Yes, I have a 7-year-old son who is very, very, very easily aggravated, easily triggered, frustrated at the smallest things. For instance, this morning we have free dress at school. We were super excited about it. But this morning we went into an hour meltdown of screaming, kicking, throwing things, punching us over what to wear. And there was no settling him. We went through his wardrobe. We did everything we could, but there was no calm.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you that there's kind of some, things that your child's landed up with on this planet, and one of them is temperament. And there's temperament tendencies. I've talked a lot about roosters and lambs, and I'd say yours is a bit more of a lamb, a little bit more sensitive. But there's another one, and it's whether you're an orchid or a dandelion. So you have an orchid son. So orchids are, oh my gosh, the feelers are really big. Really, really big. And that means that their ability to self-regulate themselves hasn't developed. And not that that's a fault. Remember, it's not always a fault. It's just that they're going to take longer to do it. My number one tip to you is making the statement to help him understand why he's just flipped his lid. So when he started to get really upset because he didn't like what he's wearing, you go, you don't like what you're wearing today. And then pause. Shall we find something else? Right? Because he doesn't even know why he flips his lid. So you've just got upset because I've given you the green cup, not the blue cup. It starts really early. Oh, you didn't like that. So you need to give him some information about why he gets upset, because he's going to have that, inability to manage it. And then we're going to give him some things, simple tools, like you're going to start taking 3 deep breaths more often. And then when he has, when the glitter's settled, we'll have a chat probably for 24 hours later because they're not really sharp for a while. And then you're going to say, isn't it awful when you get really upset like that? Well, let's just see if we can do some fun breathing, or should we do, and give him a tool, and you practice it in the bath. Well, if he's 7, maybe still, but
So you
earlier.
practice it when he's not upset?
Yes, you practice when he's not upset. And also, I have an audio on my website called Calming the Angry Ant, and it's really a breath one that a lot of boys have significantly shifted the excess tension in their nervous system, because he's got a lot in there that obviously hasn't come out. So that would be a great one to do with him. And also everyone in the family, seriously, we've all got aggro inside us. And so if we can breathe that out, and the nervous system has more space before it trips. So keep the statement, help him understand it. And then when if he can catch it in time, if not, just let the big feels come out and then go, what can we do to fix this, mate?
Terry, what's he actually going to wear to school today?
Oh, well, we got one now.
Okay, good.
We've got a,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
tough though, isn't it?
Sometimes boys, I'm really frightened I'm going to
Yes.
fail. So they've been conditioned to think they've always got to pass, which, I could go for 5 hours on that problem in
I bet you
WA.
could, yes.
That they don't want to fail, don't want to get it wrong. So every now and then I
Yes.
want you to help him fail a lot.
Yeah, so it's almost easier to have to wear a uniform to
Yes,
school
so
because
maybe
there's no
there's a
decision.
stressing free
Exactly.
dress.
What if people, exactly.
Yes, you think that free dress is a freedom, and in
Yeah.
actuality,
stress
there's more
out
pressure.
orchids.
Yeah.
Yep.
So orchids, because their environment has to be perfect for them to flourish,
they're just much more unpredictable, and
Yes.
their environment really does make a difference. And
Yes.
that's why sometimes if they're in a classroom with a really warm and caring educator who lets them move when they need, they can thrive.
Yep.
If they're in a more rigid environment, that just flips them out so
Yep.
much, and they often save that and take it home and give it to mum
Yeah, right.
in the car.
And dandelions can
dandelions pretty
flourish
crucial.
anywhere.
They just flourish anywhere.
Yeah, like a
Everyone
weed.
should wish we had. I want the dandelion.
Gretchen, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Now, you've also got a 7-year-old, yes?
No, my son's just in high school.
Or year
this year.
7, sorry,
Year
my
7, yep.
apologies.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, talk us through it. What's the issue?
Well, on Maggie's scale, he'd be a lamb, and he's talented at mathematics and science and things, but with his language, he struggles. And I offer help, and I want to help him, and we've had intervention, but it's like I'm shaming him by asking him if he needs help. And he just tells me to go away, leave me alone. So I'm wondering, I don't know, how can I, because I want to help. I said, this is coming from a good place. He goes, you're making me feel such and such.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not my intention. I just want to give him some help because I don't want him to feel like he can't do it.
Oh,
Yes.
Well done, Mum. And one of the big things, I love it, the very fact you can articulate that. That's huge for a boy of that age. So wear that one, even if it's a little bit frustrating. Okay, so and he's absolutely right. So what happens when the brain does some of those brain prunings? It makes them incredibly sensitive to criticism, especially from the people he loves the most. So it's sort of more about how do you communicate with him around those things. So there's a whole chapter in my From Boys to Men we talk about you got to choose the timing. You got to choose the way you enter into the conversation. You've got to kind of let him be the one that makes some of the choices. So instead of, keep on pushing him because he knows it's an area that he fails, we focus on what he does really, really well and keep stoking that up, because the more he sees that I'm competent at something, then his inner critic can't really smash him down too much. And I would get the year leader or a coordinator at school and let them be the one that has that conversation with him about, now, I've just had a few ideas on how we can lift that English grade, and I'm an old English teacher, trust me, in the number of boys who felt there's no point learning to write an essay because I'm going to be a scientist or play football for the Dockers. You know what I mean? What's the relevance for me? So I think you need to explore what is a relevance thing. So on my website, under I think it's Raising Boys, there is a blog that's got it all about communication. I think it'll give you some tips on how you can have those conversations so he doesn't feel that you're just criticising me all the time.
Yeah, and then outsource that to somebody else.
And then basically we're going to say, what do you think, man? We're going to work with the school to see if there's any ideas they may have. And then if he's open to a tutor, then he's got to be the one that chooses that person. And fortunately, there are lots of great uni students who are funky and fun, who may just make it fun to pick up some of those gaps. But at the end of the day, keep reassuring him ferociously how much you love him.
Good on you, Gretchen.
Fantastic. Okay, thanks a lot.
Good luck.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.